Right. We'll figure out.
You're live, Mr. Chair. Person Casey, you're live.
Great, thank you. We'll call this meeting to order of Parks and Rec, Thursday, May 18th. Ask you to turn your phones off, please, or put them on mute. Declaration of pecuniary interest that you declared at the time, if you have one, please. To start, we have the delegation of the Kamlachie Athletic Association and Wyoming Ball. Part of their quarterly visit. I believe it's back this soon already. So just maybe an update of where you're at, what's going on.
I put it on my phone.
Fine.
Nope, we are all started. We're in full swing already. We have 12 co-ed teams, 8 equal church teams, 14 minor ball teams, and 6 lady ball teams this year. So we're very busy, and all our 4 parks are being used. We don't have Sarnia Slopage this year, which is kind of nice in one way. So gives more time for practices for everybody. Otherwise, everything is running. Our lights, thanks Al for getting those lights fixed. Are they coming back to roll? From where they had this ground so hard. I just got a call on
Just a couple of depressions there.
I didn't even notice it. So I just got called last night asking if they're coming back on. Oh.
Been on it twice now, and I think it's just too hard now. You're not going to gain anything with it.
It'll get softer anyway. Okay.
We're hoping it rebound a little bit. He caught the edges with the roller for sure, and then over the other direction.
Yeah. There's not much you can do either. Gotta get them fixed, and can't go the other way because it's too soft. I didn't have much things. I just had a couple of questions on a few things. We're looking for the sign for the water.
Ordered. Sarnia Plumbing and Mechanical there, they've ordered it and we're just waiting for it to arrive.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Do we have, I know in our contract, we did the bathroom schedule and the garbage schedule. You know what days they were? We can just make sure we have our garbage out ready and.
Staff goes around Mondays and Fridays.
Mondays and Fridays.
Mondays and Fridays when they go around with the trucks to clean
Mondays
them.
and Fridays.
And then when we're cutting the grass, they should be checking there as well.
But mostly it's Mondays and Fridays. And then in between we'll do our cleaning. That's easy enough. So the other one, bathroom lights and the ladies, is that temporary or is that permanent?
Right now, because that light that we just put up last year,
Yeah.
so he wanted to get it checked, and so he stuck the other one up there as a temporary.
Yeah, that was a new LED light that was put in there.
Brand new LED light, and it went out like just on instantaneously almost, so he's getting it checked so he put that temporary one up.
At least the ladies have lights. They seem to complain sometimes about in the dark. There's some parking barriers. I don't know if that's minor ball or that's just the park one. There's some of the barriers that we had put up there years ago, around the parking lot area. Some have broken off, some of them are damaged.
The wooden ones?
Yeah, the wooden.
Okay. There's one I do know it's down, but they were.
Yeah. I nailed one back already, so that one's okay. I think there's only 1 or 2 anyway.
There was a reason why they left the one down. I do know that. I'll double check on that.
Remember what the reason was. We're wondering, so we have some of our soft material we call from the batting cage that was donated by SOS or soft services. So we have some extras. So right and from the canteen, there's that little area before the barriers go towards where we used to put the picnic tables. Well, I know it's a pain in the butt having the picnic tables moved all the time when they cut the grass. So we want to know whether we can just use our soft material that we have, edge it out in a 4x4, And probably do it like how the batting cage is, so that way they don't have to, the tables are there and they're done. I wonder if we could do that.
It would be okay with that. I would also suggest that we may chain those off because they're walking.
Yeah.
We're finding them down in the parking lot and by the
Well, that's why we're thinking maybe we're gonna lock them right to those poles and have them permanent there. Would the town be able to take like 6 inches, 8 inches, the top soap, basically the top off for us? So we can lay some.
We could arrange that. We definitely have to do it with locates, so that'd be.
We're only gonna take probably 4 to 6 inches, just the top, that way we don't lay it on the grass. The shovel's gonna take forever.
Where you want it and stuff, we'll get some locates called in and get it done.
You want me just to spray it off? It's only a 12 foot by 6 foot, just to put the 2 picnic tables on. I just think it'd be easier for Chico and that when he's cutting grass, he doesn't have to get off all the time and push them all. And that's it for me.
Any questions of Todd? You know, what's your total number roughly?
Of
People.
kids, well, we have 14 teams, or an average of 12 to 15 per team. Then we also have all the co-ed and 2-pitch. The other quick question I had too is we had to push our ladies' year end back a week because the township booked the summer send off that they have there. But we're gonna have to use that weekend back again because this why it was such a problem is we had a lot of flack is because that's the Forest Fair weekend. And a lot of the girls are in the Forest Fall weekend, and then we pushed them back a week and we've taken a lot of flack. So is this going to be an ongoing summer send off?
Go ahead, Alan.
I was given the impression that they were consulted, that the CAA was.
They were
consulted.
consulted with us. They didn't say dates or anything. And we were just told, okay, it's happening this date. So that's when we went, oh, we have our ladies' year-end tournament then.
I was given the impression that the date was selected with your consultation. If that is not the case, maybe before they start planning, that they should sit down with the Optimus CAA and the town
Yeah,
prior to selecting dates.
that would be good. Just that we have, I guess. You didn't think the Forest Fall Fair is on too that weekend, and I guess a lot of people are doing all that stuff, so. But that's all I have.
Yeah, so does that mean it's not being changed this year?
No,
Oh, okay, all right,
we're pushing ladies back.
okay.
We push ladies back week, but that comes at the end of September, so. Getting a little colder too and everything. But that's it for license. And anybody have any questions?
Welcome, Leggett. Thank you. Mr. Howell.
Thank you. Ball is getting underway like basically 2-4 weekend from then on. The diamonds are going to be used every night, 2 games probably night because we were short of diamonds. And thanks for fixing the lights and the red dirt. We got that and I'm starting to use it. So I'm not 100% sure what the registration is, but I think it's sitting anywhere between 450 to 500 kids. So, and then of course, then there's the 2-pitch men's and ladies and the senior ball team after that. So there's a lot of bodies down there every night. Well, and thanks to Petrolia for the diamond use over there. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have enough diamonds here in town. The flag in the old field at Canton, I was just wondering if we could get put up this year. It hasn't been put up. And there's two tournaments on Labor Day, one at either diamond that'll be going, and possibly another one through the summer. I just haven't deed on that yet, but there's one for sure through the summer. So Matthew can forward that date, and then you'll have that date. And if there's any others, then I'll keep you up to date on that. There's a couple of big issues, and I don't know how much time you folks have tonight or what you got, but the washrooms, of course, is one issue. That's really got to do something with that.
Did you mind giving the committee a heads up on what you've been dealing with on that situation?
Yeah, well, Brian's aware the first time we had them in here, we found we're getting quite a bit of vandalism next door. You're aware of that. The kids are going in there. They're dumping the soap all over inside, climbing all over the fixtures inside. We just replaced both door strikes on the doors because they're damaged from the kick in the doors, twist of the door. And then they've done it again. We found out today that it was, the one on the east is damaged again, won't unlock. And you large footprint on the door again. So we just don't know. I'm kind of at wit's end here because it's just going to be an ongoing thing, whether we just unlock the darn things and let them do whatever they're going to do. But we've called or notified the OPP, let them know that we're getting this kind of damage to the building, and not sure if they've seen anybody or not, but we'll keep reminding them that they need to do more advice and keep doing what we're doing. But
Yeah.
it's a day in and day out thing.
And I know there has been nights where I've been getting phone calls because the washrooms weren't even open. So, and then
That was just in the last couple of weeks that we finally made sure that they're up and going because of the issues that John was having there, right?
oh, and then once they were locked, they could go in, or I could unlock them, but the key would unlock them, but then they would close. So I was putting tape on the latches so that they could use the.
So the timers are turned back on, so they should be working, but
But there again, now they aren't locking at all. The one washroom wasn't locking at all.
today it should be. One on the what?
Yeah.
Got them both damaged again.
I-
I was informed that the one east one is damaged and it won't unlock again.
The other one won't lock,
The
so.
other one won't lock. Okay. I'll bring A&W back in again.
Well,
Outside of that, I don't know.
you can check it and
Just take the doors off. Well, they're wrecking them every
They
time.
are, they're kicking them. We've had to shim the doors. They bent the hinges.
I have an idea who the group is, and isn't even here from town, so.
Again, we can unlock them and just leave them unlocked, but I don't know what's gonna happen through the evening when
Yeah.
you guys are not present at the ball diamond.
And there seems to be less damage when they're open as opposed to when the door is locked, because that seems to when they smash the door and then get in anyway, so. You have to have the washrooms, there's no doubt about that. Because
The alternative is to bring an outhouse back over.
I don't want that.
So if you're damaged, well, if these continue to get damaged, that might be the option, but the problem then becomes is if they're damaging the permanent washrooms, they're just gonna dump over the outhouse.
Why
So
put $150,000 in that building and then bring a porta john in? It doesn't make sense. Like, I made the suggestion to you, but cameras,
We're not allowed to put cameras up at
I
this
don't know
moment.
why.
because for us to put up cameras, we have to have a very clear policy on it. We're a public entity. Cameras actually come with a fair bit of liability and responsibility. You have to ensure that you're monitoring them, you have to have records retention policies on it. So it's something that we've considered, and given what's going on today, that maybe needs to come back to the table for the further consideration. That's a town-wide policy that needs to be implemented.
Well, to put up a sign saying that they're on camera then, whether it's a camera or not, like. Adam, I'm getting sick and tired. And sorry, I know we're on camera and everything, but your liability, you're causing more liability than what you're fixing. And that's the truth. Whether you like it or not, I'm there every day and I know what's going on. I don't see you up there too often. So I don't think you're aware of what takes place, so.
When it does cameras, we have talked about in the past, and the biggest thing is. Say the retention, what we do with the videos, all that kind of stuff. It's not just 2 cameras there, it's you're gonna have to cover the whole town. So it's gotta be something that'll encompass everything, and that's, it's gonna come. It's gonna, because the pool's the same,
But
it's not
liability,
just as easy as putting 2 cameras.
I know, but this liability thing,
Liability is the biggest thing we deal with,
Yeah, but
no matter what.
what you're doing is causing, I don't want to be written.
I understand.
Like that, but any project you've done, you've caused more liability than what we had before. And that's just my view, because I'm there every day and I know what goes on. I've talked to people. And I don't think there's too many people in here, excluding you, Mike, because I know you walked by and I know you had kids there at the ball diamond for a number of years, maybe other folks did too. So you have an idea what's going on, but I don't see too many up there to know what's going on every day.
Oh, absolutely. You're our main contact.
That's
That's what we rely on.
I'm getting to the point where I'm getting darn frustrated.
Well, that's why we're asking you to come to these.
Well, and it would be nice that you've seen somebody at the park once in a while to ask if you're driving by or if you're at a meeting here or something, just stop and say, what's going on? Or, you know, can we help you or do something? It's just, I put a lot of time up there.
Absolutely.
And I've been doing it for, I'm not sure, this might be the 13th year. I don't think we're getting too far ahead.
And that's what I say, by having you come quarterly, that was the start.
And I know if son was here, he wouldn't want me to start into this, but it's to the point where it's either going to be done or you'll have to take a lot of for people to come and do it, because
No, I see. I'm doing a lot of writing over there, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be brought up at the next council meeting. Am I correct? Like about cameras? Or you're just writing
Agenda's due
something else?
tomorrow, so that might be
Okay,
a
so it'll be
challenge,
the
but
next one then after that.
Business.
Under new business, good, yeah.
We should review it because we have talked about it a couple times.
I mean, if you're looking, but we have to have washrooms. There's no doubt about that. And I think you people know that too, because even the walkers are wanting washrooms, because where in town can you go to a public washroom? And they've got used to them. And I've opened the washroom several times since they were broke because you couldn't get in them or whatever. So it's an inconvenience, not only for the ball team, I think for the town.
Oh, and that huge inconvenience that the little turds are wrecking.
Oh, it's, yeah, I don't know what
That's awfully polite.
I was gonna say, I caught myself.
and to me, if they had even though the cameras are only for a little while, or if you had a sign saying there is a camera, if it worked for a week or whether it worked for 3 weeks, a month, it would save some damage. That's what I had to say on that. And I hope we're gonna go forward and
Like I say, that was the whole intent was, you know, and Todd sitting beside you, here's exactly what we're hearing, and he's got the same thing, you know, that because of going out there as well. But
And I guess, you know, if we have to sit down and have another discussion, what can be done, that's pretty easy to discuss whatever we want if we can make progress on the parks.
right,
One more subject, and the water that we're being charged, well, actually, if we don't use a drop of water all year, we're gonna pay over $3,000 a year. Fees. And I don't think that's the point. I don't think that's fair.
how's that?
correct.
You have your hookup, which 3/4, whatever that is, and then the sewage flat rate. So that works out to $170 or something.
Rated all that for the Canton Park there, based off a domestic meter. It shouldn't be.
Sewage, why should there be any charge on the sprinkler system? The set rate for the hookup and sewage fee on the sprinkler system. That water doesn't go back into the sewer system.
That's something will have to be discussed with the Water and Sewer Committee. As this sits right now, every public building, every person, every connection in the Wyoming pays a water flat fee and a sewage flat fee. It doesn't matter where the water goes because the committee of the time who passed that policy did not want to sit there and go out to every home and have every person show and justify that it doesn't go down. So they do not provide a discount to.
I understand that, like
I understand that this is not the same situation though.
I'm paying that on my home, which I don't like it, but that's the way it is, so you pay it. But we don't own the property over there. So we're paying sewage fee and that on town property that we don't even own. I don't mind paying the water, whatever water goes through the meter, and minor ball will pay for the water. But it's just getting to ridiculous that we have to pay 3,000 all year long. If we don't use a drop of water. And that's what it adds up to.
You should only be charged for the months you use it. When we turn it off, so realistically, if you're only using it May through September, you should only get a bill from May to
January bill, what's it, January to February? I don't know, the one last bill that I received, we didn't use a drop of water, and the 3 bills were $179 or something, each one of them.
So I can fix that.
Okay,
In
no,
my opinion, that you guys should only be paying for the water and sewer when you're using it. When it's turned off at the road, your billing stops. So I will follow up with my accounts people in the water and sewer. Take a look at what you guys have been billed for and make sure you guys are getting billed correctly for that water service.
the sprinkler system, that doesn't go back into the sewer, so.
You're correct, but that is not the policy I've been handed by environmental services. So I think this committee can't do anything really about that. That's in the hand of environmental services. So all I'm gonna ask is, can you have Matt or yourself just put a quick email in there, making a request that the water and sewer committee consider giving the Wyoming Ball Association a variation from those fees, and then we'll bring it back here to amend the agreement to include that.
If they have, if
The committee doesn't have the right to waive those fees.
they have to, maybe it can be taken out of the budget for the 2 parks then.
Looking at the November bill, and there isn't any water or sewer charged to.
I didn't bring the bill with me, but there is.
Okay, well, we can look into it. If it's wrong, we'll make it right.
And it's been quite a while, but I never sat down and figured out what it's costing per year, but that's what
We'll double check the bills to see if you're only being charged for flat rate usage when you're actually using it. And then we will, if you want to have the Environmental Services Committee give permission to waive those fees, and then we'll come back and amend the agreement. I don't think the committee has any objection to amending the agreement accordingly, as long as they get the proper waiver from the Environmental Services Committee.
money is tight. You people know that just in your own or the town, but we don't mind paying a share, but we don't want to be. Yeah, and like I say, there is a budget for those 2 parks, and it's a lot of money that's budgeted for those 2 parks, and I know there isn't that much being spent on them, so. Like 40,000 isn't being spent on those 2 parks every year.
Budget in front of me at this moment.
Well, we don't want to get into that. We'll be here all night. Let's look at that and get it straightened, and then we'll get into that. Anybody have any
Is that
questions?
for both associations then? So you look at. for both?
Yeah, if one gets it, the other.
Is that for hydro too,
I
or,
don't think you guys have sprinklers, right?
no, but we pay for sewer and water?
The intent of the user agreement was for you only to pay for utilities during the time of use, not for any other time of
So
year.
is that for hydro too then?
I believe so. I will
We
have
still get our hydro bills through.
to look at it.
But then when you budget for utilities on the 2 parks. And you don't pay the utilities, we do, so why is it budgeted for utilities?
Portions of the utilities, you don't pay all the, I'd have to look at what's in there. I don't have all the accounts in front of me. That's more than something I can just bring up right now.
And there's also budgeted for porta johns, and there isn't even porta johns at the 2 ballparks, so I don't know whether just added on each year, but maybe somebody needs to check into what's
We do have Port John too, so can't do we not?
had one there for 2 years.
We should have been there the one last year.
It started and then I said, get it out of here, we didn't need it, so.
I may have not been informed that that was commented. So that might be why it still sits in the budget. Either way, we'll review what we're charging for utilities. We'll make sure it's fair as per the agreements that we signed. And then we'll get back to both parties.
Any questions on Wyoming Ball? No. You.
Thank you, Mike, for the time.
fix everything in one night.
No, I'm not expecting it.
No, but that's like I say, that's why we wanted it.
If I got a little crusty, I apologize, but it's to the point that,
We're gonna move on because.
no, that's, like I said.
So 4 point, you got all my.
That's it for us.
You guys can hang out with us the rest of the evening, or you can carry on your way. It's your choice.
You're welcome to leave.
Okay, folks, have a good evening.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
I have a motion by Nettie McHugh and seconded by Donna. The regular Parks and Rec Committee meeting minutes be adopted by the committee, and those confidential minutes of the closed session remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection Policy. April 25th, 2023. Parks and Rec. All in favor? Everybody got any questions on them? I'm sure you've read them diligently. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Business rising from previous meetings. I don't have anything. 6.1 accounts. Everybody's got a list of the accounts for April. Got any questions on them? Of course,
Water sewer parks. Scott, do we always pay that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and hydro also.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's too bad.
There's two facilities that located on Main
Yeah, you charge those
Front
always.
Street.
I just sort of wonder why.
Easternmost one gets charged to the Parks Department, the western one gets charged to the Water and Sewer
I
Department.
think you've asked that before and I'm trying to change your mind, but okay. Highland Glen. We're charged here about $2,800 for something. I want to charge it to Highland Glen to us yet. We don't own it yet.
I did notice that at the agenda and I was waiting for you to make that comment. So
Oh, I
I could say
bet
that
you
it would be
were.
reallocated.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
anyone else have any questions? Motion by Mike, seconded by Donna, that the accounts as listed be received by the Plympton-Wyoming Parks and Rec Committee for April payables. All in favor? Eric? Staff report, Parks and Rec terms of reference. 7.1. We have a report from Jessica Wilson, Executive Assistant. Update the Parks and Rec terms of reference. I have a motion by Mike, seconded by Nettie, that a report dated May 8th, 2023 by Jessica Wilson, Executive Assistant, on the updated Parks and Recreation terms of reference be received and approved by the committee for current 4-year administration. Any questions on that? I think Meg was saying you were just changing it to a 4-year.
Well, it's actually essentially the same as the cemetery committee, or it's streamlining. All the committees have more or less the same terms of reference. It's just the details inside of what you're looking after and what your responsibilities is what changes, but the innards of the agreement are all, or the terms of reference are all similar.
No
So there
questions?
haven't really been any changes.
There was massive changes from what you had started at amalgamation time. Where the old terms of reference essentially had this committee running as a department of the town, whereas the committee members actually physically went out and did work, had specific regular duties. This is changing it to more of the standard committee structure that exists today for oversight, et cetera.
Right.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. Again by Nettie McEwen, seconded by Donna. 7.2, that a report by Jessica Wilson, Executive Assistant, dated May 5th, 2023, on the use of a declaration form for staff under the age of 18, be endorsed by the Parks and Rec Committee. Anybody want to speak to it? Do you have any questions? Copy. Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Seven point three, request, the report by Adam Spansky. Sorry. Once again, Nettie McEwen and Donna. The report by Adam Spansky, Director of Public Works, dated May 8th, 2023, regarding the request for proposal to supply and install new playground equipment at Reddick Park be received by the Parks and Rec Committee, and that the proposal from Blue Imp recreational equipment for 26,540 without HST be endorsed and forwarded council for approval. Any questions? Yes.
If we have any funds left over, what will we be doing with that? Can we direct them now, or will we be requested to direct them somewhere else?
Chair, if I may. I'm not anticipating leftover funds from this project.
Thank you, that's good.
This project, this portion of the project is not the full project. Public Works will be
Oh.
going in there excavating for a concrete pad and pouring a concrete pad under the ball catcher that is there. And Public Works will also be excavating for the soft surface that's going in. We feel once that is all done, there will not be significant surplus left.
Thank you.
Any other questions? You like the looks of that one? All in favor? Opposed, carried. Seven point four. We have new ones. He made a motion, seconded by Mike, of the report by Adam Spansky, Director of Public Works, dated May 12th, 2023, regarding the 2023 Ontario Community Environmental Fund Grant application be received, and that the committee directs staff to submit an application to the 2023 Ontario Community Environmental Fund Grant application. Speak to that first.
So first thing to note is that we probably would not apply for that whole project at the end of this year. And talking to our partners at Climate Action Sarnia Lambton, they felt it would be very unachievable to get that kind of work done in that short of a period of time. And they felt that bringing contractors to go through it all at once would probably take away from the intended nature of that project. So the compromise would be to, at a minimum, maybe apply for the vegetation for the under vegetation for bed one, which we planned last weekend, potentially the perennials, which would be also planned in the fall, and certainly some signage to show people why we're doing it, what each bed is intended to do, and then of course signage for the at the roadway illustrating the project and our pipeline.
Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Approved. Thank
Can I
you.
just add that that was a great day, you know that?
No, you can't, that's, it
Okay, I won't bother.
was a good thing.
Yeah.
That one's carried. 7.5, a report by Adam Spansky, Director of Public Works. Oh, sorry, that's Teresa's signature. Oh, and you. Holy. Moved by Alex, seconded by Dean, that a report by Adam Spansky, Director of Public Works, dated May 12th, 2023, regarding the 2023 Ontario Trillium Fund Community Investment Capital Grant be received, and that the committee endorse submitting an application for the construction of an AODA washroom at Canton Park. Committee directs staff to forward the report to council for approval. You want to speak to that? You need to speak to that?
So the Ontario Trail Fund was as in my report on the in June at 15th was my report. The projects that have been on our minds for an extended period of time. Given the amount we've invested, given the desire illustrated and the passion by our ball associations on the one topic, I felt that it would be an ideal candidate for the project. And that's why I thought it'd be best to proceed with that one. We do have a lot of projects. That project we actually have money saved for. So if we got the full grant amount, we might be able to fund it without affecting tax revenues. So.
Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Last one. Number 8.1, committee reports. Quick rundown on your parks, please. Blue Point Park. Lisa.
Everything's good, except I went down to the water and it's really muddy right before you get to the stairs. I don't know if there's any way, just the way the season is, or if there's something that's out or,
That hill continuously weeps.
yeah.
We plan on extending more wood chips. You can see that we're down about halfway. I get more wood chips pulled down to the edge of the wood there. And, we've got quite a demand for the wood chips this year, so we're trying to, when we're in the area, chip and drop right there instead of trying to carry from another.
Yeah, that's all I noticed when I went for a walk, so.
Perfect. Anything else?
They're beautiful. No, they're just great. Kamlaki ball park.
Highland Glen, Teresa and Nettie.
It's good.
Oh, yeah, I went through a walk
You
for
see
a
the-
walk and it's great there.
Did you see the mudslide on the
Well,
west side? We do it.
we can't do anything now.
It's an exceptionally challenging block over there.
Huge. Yeah, no, I was there the other day. It looks good. Lake Shore. Alex.
I've been slowly tapping people that I know use specific ones to keep eyes on all of them, so that's helping, but I've got nothing to report on right now.
Lake Shore and Lamrecton, Dean.
I don't have anything to report on those ones, but I did notice on my way out here today, in Dahlman Park, we've got a old Tykes basketball net next to the neighbor's what crammed opening to the fence tennis court type area.
The entrance.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're taking their dog in there to run or something and made a makeshift gate, but it looks like a bunch of rubbish.
We'll remove the rubbish, the basketball net there for the.
It's
I
just
think
one of
the
those
neigh-
little, like.
I think a neighbor kid there is utilizing that and they're putting the basketball net up, but we'll get rid of the pallet.
Yeah. Human Park,
Human Park. It looks good too.
McKay Park.
Good, nothing to report. Looking forward to the park tour Saturday.
All parks, you heard it. Wyoming Trail, Mike. Order. Hot Parks.
Everything seems to be okay so far. I've seen, not all of them, we didn't know which one me and Mike were gonna do, so. I'll go back and finish them, but I'd like to go through all the parks myself, I like to do it. I'm out there, I do jobs and stuff out there and it's not a problem, but. The last couple of years, I went and I've done my own thing. And up that if I don't do that, understand what somebody else is seeing, I just go through them. But we only look pretty good so far. Haven't seen nothing wrong with them.
Perfect. Boy. Yeah, Adam, you got anything?
Nothing new today, thank you.
You got anything on this part? No. Okay. We'll move on, 9 bylaws, I have nothing. 10 correspondence. Jessica, we got anything new that we didn't get in the packet?
No. Oh, just, well, you sent out an email about the acres. The burn in this year.
So, but he asked if you wanted to with next year. Did you respond about that?
So we'll schedule it for next year, especially
Okay.
since he promised to hold his price from this year.
Yeah, thank you. Recommended reading, nothing, new business. Why don't we start with, Donna, you got anything new to bring up? No. Teresa?
This is probably a weird question, but is there anything that can be done about ticks, or it's just they're there and they populate and that's it?
Awesome, Barb.
Yeah.
No, I think the only thing that typically is done is the health units do a lot of education on ticks. You can attempt to keep your grass cut down low. Generally, our parks are relatively cut down low and have minimal high grass or brush, so they're minimal, except for our more naturalized parks, they're
Mhm.
minimalistic for ticks by nature. But they are spreading to everywhere, including well manicured lawns now, so it is unfortunately just gonna be a challenge, and we will have to dress accordingly and use sprays as you're comfortable doing.
Yeah, I know that Sunset Acre Park, the one that's the prairie grass area or whatever, I guess people are really getting a lot of ticks going through there, so.
Unfortunately, the burn would help with that. But until we can get the burn through there, it is literally a tick's natural habitat.
Right.
It's a natural tall grass prairie, which what they like.
They
So
come up with something that's natural that would limit them down, not, something, a predator that gets rid of them or something, but.
maybe what we can do just as a kind of stopgap is maybe we can email the medical officer at health office if they have any signage and educational stuff that we can put there, signs, and then do a link on our website. Be mindful, it's tick season. The health unit for further information.
I was gonna suggest giddy hens in there, but Eddie shot that one down earlier. No chickens.
The burn will help with it. We do get the chance to. Unfortunately, this year it went from pure wet to pure dry, and it was never right conditions to do a burn on the grass.
Okay, Alex?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Thing for me.
Well, McKay Park, the Wyoming pool, you'll probably see on Saturday because it won't be complete. There's a hole in the deck. We located a leak in the plumbing going around the pool. I had it repaired. We left it for a few days after the repair to make sure there was no further leaks in it. Since then, everything's up and running fine, so we're gonna start backfilling. But you won't see the concrete done by Saturday, so. Asking that question, that's what that's there for. And along Toronto Street, we cleaned up the parking areas there. It'll be completed tomorrow. And everything will be ready for the weekend.
I have nothing.
You can talk about your trees now, Jim.
I would like to talk about trees. That's not new business. That was last week.
What's your report on?
But you know what? I will talk about some trees. When I'm driving along Kimlaki Side Road, there's an area there, a big shoulder area. And since there were a lot of trees cut down along on the west side of Kimlaki Side Road, there's an area that's very wide. And then there's a ditch. I wonder if we could put any trees in that area. There's two sections actually. And maybe just to put some nice little trees there and have to add to our green canopy.
We would first have to make sure that's still our property because the ditch is inset. It could be a municipal
Yeah.
green inset, so
That's fine.
we definitely have to make sure
Yeah,
of that.
but
But
it's just vacant property that doing nothing and trees would look nice there. And if we don't own it, maybe we could contact the owner and ask if we could put some there. That's all. Thanks for asking.
How did your weekend go planting trees?
Oh, excellent. Yes, have you seen it?
Yes.
No, it was a great day and there was a big turnout and there's lots of trees. And what more can you ask for? Yes.
I think we planted 81 trees or something.
Yeah, I think we started with 75, 76, and then
40, 50 people there.
Mike Smalls had a number of trees left over from other projects, and he decided to get them himself over there.
I noticed somebody was planting some on Monday.
Mr. Smalls.
You didn't get them all done? That
Yeah, it was a good day.
was good.
Anita Coffee is up and running at Lamrecton Park. So if you're in that neck of the woods first thing in the morning or at the end of the day, feel free to stop by and grab a coffee. We are working towards getting a official policy together. We're hoping that this is something we can do in the somewhat slower time of early summer so that it's in place for January 1st of next year on how we plan to address it. This committee will get first glance at that policy as it's going to mostly relates to parks properties before it's on to council for final.
Jessica, you got anything? You have anything?
And I wasn't sure if I'd be able to talk. Or I came because Kristen Rodriguez told a bunch of us to come up from the Blue Point area. We had talked, I know, just in our area about the equipment. And she wasn't sure, well, I guess we weren't sure what was gonna happen potentially with the equipment. Whether we'd have to raise funds as a community or I think it was gonna come from township or what was gonna happen. I expect.
You wanna?
I don't think there is any clear direction. So the takeaways were that what I took from that is staff was going to look at the budget. And during the budget deliberations, which for this committee will start in September, we will be bringing back an amended 10-year capital plan. And we will see where Blue Point can slide into that, whether it's next year, the year after, depending on requests and everything else, because we do have a number of parks which are honestly as need of upgrade as yours or more so. So we're trying to see where your park fits into that plan. So it is in our minds, but we're really not going to probably bring anything back in September.
I have one other little thing.
Go ahead.
I know I play tennis quite a bit there and I've realized since Hollingsworth came in and they finished the tennis court there. When they took off the fence, they didn't actually stake it back down. So it's rolled up and the ball is going underneath. I know it's more of a pain in the butt thing, but I did whether or not that could be fixed.
We can stake that back down, but I do have to go in there and edge the edge of that. Well, it was brought up in the last
Yeah,
meeting.
it's a.
We have some staff that, once I get things all rolling here, we'll be down there with some more material.
Yeah, because I've
We're
almost
just done.
broke my ankle going into the grass and everything.
Take care of that as soon as possible. And I'll make sure that the fence is staked down.
Thanks.
Thank you. That's fine, thank you. We're gonna move into closed anyway, so. I have a motion by Mike, seconded by Dean. Council move into an in-camera meeting of council pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended for the following reasons. Item A, personal matters. Section 239(2)(e), personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees.